Hi everybody, this is Graham here again. There seems to be some problems today. It's just me on my lonesome. I wasn't going to broadcast, but then I thought actually what I could do is I could actually read out the article that I shared for this broadcast, and then hopefully maybe somebody will get some benefit from that at least. The purpose of this broadcast, as with the previous one, is basically to allow people who are learning English, foreign speakers, um, to have the chance to speak to somebody who's a native speaker, me, and perhaps exercise their ears and exercise their tongue in conversation. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and read this article, make a couple of points on it. So this will be a short one, and then people can hopefully get some use out of that. So the article that I linked was: Will the first self-replicating AI machine be Homo sapiens' last great invention? Stephen Hawking thinks so. So you may have seen this in the news and in various different versions of an article. It was basically a discussion on artificial intelligence. And it goes on like such. Artificial intelligence will surpass human intelligence after 2020, predicts Werner Vinge, a world-renowned pioneer in AI. Oh, sorry, there's an incoming call on the... Let me see. I thought somebody had joined. No. Nobody has joined. Sorry about that. Anyway, let me complete reading this, and then if somebody calls me, they call me. Artificial intelligence will surpass human intelligence after 2020, predicts Werner Vinge, a world-renowned pioneer in artificial intelligence, who has warned about the risks and opportunities that an electronic superintelligence would offer to mankind. It seems plausible that with technology we can, in the fairly near future, says sci-fi legend Werner Vinge, create or become creatures who surpass humans in every intellectual and creative dimension. Events beyond such an event, such as singularity, are as unimaginable to us as opera is to a flatworm. There was the psychotic HAL 9000 in a 2001 Space Odyssey, the humanoids which attack their human masters in I, Robot, and of course the Terminator, where a robot is sent into the past to kill a woman whose son will end the tyranny of the machines. Never far from the surface, a dark dystopian view of artificial intelligence has again returned to the headlines, thanks to the British physicist Stephen Hawking. The primitive forms of artificial intelligence we already have proved very useful, but I think the development of full artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race, Hawking told the BBC. Once humans develop artificial intelligence, it would take off on its own and redesign itself at an ever-increasing rate. Then there's a video to watch in the article. But experts interviewed by AFP were divided. Some agreed with Hawking, saying that the threat, even if it were distant, should be taken seriously. Others said his warning seemed overblown. I'm pleased that a scientist from the hard sciences had spoken out. I've been saying the same thing for years, said Daniela Turqui, an anthropologist at Switzerland's Louisiana University. I apologize if I got her name wrong. That was a bad pronunciation, I believe. Gains in artificial intelligence are created. Gains in artificial intelligence are creating machines that outstrip human performance, Cherqui argued. The trend eventually will delegate responsibility for human life to the machine, she predicted. It may seem like science fiction, but it's only a matter of degrees when you see what is happening right now, said Cherqui. We are heading down the road he talked about, one step at a time. Nick Bostrom, director of a program on the impacts of future technology at the University of Oxford, said the threat of AI superiority was not immediate. Bostrom pointed to current and near-future applications of AI that were still clearly in human hands. Things such as military drones, driverless cars, robot factory workers, and automated surveillance of the internet. But he said, I think machine intelligence will eventually surpass biological intelligence, and yes, there will be significant existential risk associated with that transition. Other experts said true AI, loosely defined as a machine that can pass itself off as a human being or think creatively, was at best decades away, and cautioned against alarmism. Since the field was launched at a conference in 1956, predictions that AI will be achieved in the next 15 to 25 years have littered the field, according to Oxford researcher Stuart Armstrong. Unless we missed something really spectacular in the news recently, none of them have come to pass, Armstrong says in a book, Smarter Than Us, The Rise of Machines' Intelligence. Jean Gabriel Ganassia, an AI expert and moral philosopher at the Pierre and Marie Curie University in Paris, said Hawking's warning was over the top. Many things in AI unleash emotion and worry because it changes our way of life, he said. Hawking said there would be an autonomous technology which would develop separately from humans. He has no evidence to support that. There is no data to back this opinion. I have to say I agree with that. There's nothing stopping us pulling out the power supplies there. It's a little apocalyptic, said Mathieu Laforsade, an AI language specialist at the University of Montpellier, southern France. Machines already do things better than us, he said, pointing to chess-playing software. That doesn't mean they are more intelligent than us. Alan Tucker, a senior lecturer in computer science at Britain's Brunel University, took a look at the hurdles facing AI. Recent years have seen dramatic gains in data processing speed, spurring flexible software to enable a machine to learn from its mistakes, he said. Balance and reflexes, too, have made big advances. Tucker pointed to the US firm Boston Dynamics as being in the research vanguard. These things are incredible tools that are really adaptive to an environment, but there is still a human there directing them, said Tucker. To me, none of these are close to what true AI is. Tony Cohen, a professor of automated reasoning at Leeds University in Northern England, sorry, my page just jumped off. A professor of automated reasoning at Leeds University in Northern England said full AI is still a long way off. Not in my lifetime, certainly, and I would still say many decades given the current rate of progress. Despite big strides in recognition programs and language cognition, robots perform poorly in open, messy environments where there are lots of noise, movement, objects, and faces, says Coe. Such situations require machines to have what humans possess naturally and in abundance, common sense knowledge, to make sense of things. Tucker said that, ultimately, the biggest barrier facing the age of AI is that machines are, well, machines. We've evolved over however many millennia to be what we are, and the motivation is survival. That motivation is hardwired into us. It's key to AI, but it's very difficult to implement. The singularity is seen by some as the endpoint of our current culture, when the ever-accelerating evolution of technology finally overtakes us and changes everything. It's been represented as everything from the end of all life to the beginning of a utopian age, which you might recognize as the end games of most other religious beliefs. While the definitions of the singularity are as varied as people's fantasies of the future, with a very obvious reason, most agreed that artificial intelligence will be the turning point. Once an AI is even the tiniest bit smarter than us, it will be able to learn faster and will simply never be able to keep up. This will render us utterly obsolete in evolutionary terms, or at least in evolutionary terms as presented by people who view academic intelligence as the only possible factor. Because that's how people who imagine a future while talking online wish the world worked, ignoring things like, hey, this is just a box, and what does this power switch do? There's no question that technology is progressing at an ever-accelerating rate. We've generated more world-changing breakthroughs in the last 50 years than the entirety of previous human history combined. So whatever you think the singularity is, it's going to happen, no question. Entire international panels have been set up to study the potentially lethal effects of certain advances, but no one would dream of stopping research. And even if they did, they couldn't stop other people. But don't be surprised when the main result of artificial intelligence research isn't a utopian society or utterly authentic sex bots, but the fact your spam filter doesn't work anymore. Okay, so that's the article read out. I just wanted to do that so that you at least had it read in a native speaker's, albeit there were a lot of mistakes in there, which hopefully you caught up. Um, you'll have it, be able to listen back to it, and hopefully you can make questions in the forums and discuss it there in more detail. Hopefully we can figure out what the problems were with this, why people weren't able to attend, and deal with it for the next broadcast. In the meantime, I just want to leave it at that, and hopefully we'll be able to do a better broadcast next time. I'm sorry about that, guys. Hope you have a nice evening. Take care. Bye.